Well, morning, my fellow zombies who are sleep deprived and emotionally screwed up, or is that emotionally deprived and sleep screwed up? I don't know. I'm having those kind of days. And here comes my dog, wondering how come I'm doing up this morning. So am I. I had a few hours of sleep. It's 1:23 in the morning Pacific Standard Time. It's August 11th, 2023. The Weaver Agency of Roseman, California. You're a zombie for this morning. Yeah. Zeros and ones are at it again. Damn marketing algorithms. Really have to keep targeting on my emotional buttons at this point. Turn on YouTube and this is what happens. Coming across different items left and right. One has the clips concerning about MSNBC with the problems concerning about David Kirshner and him robbing people left and right and having the fun. First trip that orange gas bag goes across the waters for is Saudi Arabia, billionaire playground. Kirshner stakes out $2 billion out of him. And stakes out more billions right after Trump leaves the office, after getting officially voted out of office legally. But Kirshner is still grifting. And then you got a senator from Missouri going crazy. How come we're not investigating David Kirshner, but we got to tear apart Hunter Biden? Nothing's concerning about Hunter Biden, and there's no direct connection with President Joe Biden regarding any kind of thing, but they keep calling the Biden family their criminal family, their crime family, and yet they still can't find any proof to their allegations. They keep putting up the allegations in the oversight committee, but there's no proof except it's just throwing chum in the water. It's throwing chum in the water, throwing in the allegations, and nothing's happening. They say, well, the proof's out there. Well, if they can't find the proof, there's no financial involvement. If there's no direct involvement that they can actually see anywhere, then why are they still going after him? That's you see part of my problem concerning about the marketing algorithms. And wants more and more reaction. I was slucked into this damn thing. Gets even worse. How about that one? And then we get to a posting that one of the progressives out there who are trying to be the consciousness of America, or actually consciousness of someone, saying, show this, show this, show this. So you get this woman complaining about how rotten things are, how her kids can't get the American dream, how American dream may be dead. So it's being played over and over again on Fox News and every other right-wing nutjob place as a foundation for how things are right now, and now we get to do the political stuff. Now we get to blame people for it. It's everyone else's fault. Look at our world. You gotta blame this and you gotta blame that. Said before in my other videos, nobody takes personal responsibility, accountability, or transparency. Are you kidding? They have to do that? They have to own up to things? My God, it's scary. Because it means they have to be put in the spotlight. They have to be held responsible for their actions, their words, their deeds, and everything else. They have to be transparent about their reasons and their logic, and be held accountable by whose standards? Indeed. Governors don't even declare responsibility for the actions they're doing to their constituents at this point over here, and they don't care. They want the money, they don't want the power, so it's the state legislatures. Aristotle kept trying to warn us. We want our freedom, we're going to have to pay for the damn thing. We're going to be hooking in capitalism at this point with democracy. Understand that democracy is one of the flimsiest governments out there. However, it is a representative of a free market, not just free market, but freedom of thought and freedom of expression. And that's the thing that autocrats and controlling people don't want. No, You insult their ego too much. They want it all. We are the elitism. Guess what? We've been at this damn thing ever since our society's been created. Ever since we actually gained any kind of intelligence about anything, we had to have the dominance in this place. Even nature has that installed in our creatures. They have territories. Across the territories, but the other territories may be getting used up, and we have to move on to new territories, and therefore have a fight with them. I wonder how Darwin would be able to deal with us on this one. Okay, so we're going to be throwing politics in it because politics is a human invention. Is it? Or isn't it? Even in the animal kingdom, there is politics. You just have to see it and have to recognize the damn thing. Observation, observation, observation. That doesn't mean I'm completely oblivious. I'm just partially oblivious. Which means I don't pay attention as much, or I choose not to pay attention. Again, when we look at things in a different perspective and a different viewpoint for a long while, we value our own and nobody else's. We're not open-minded enough. So we don't pay attention to a hell of a lot of stuff. What I've been looking on the YouTube is I still made some likes out there for the tragedy what happened out in Maui. I wanted to get some subscriptions going on, trying to see what the hell kind of damage. We're talking over 50 plus people who have been killed by this wildfire of atmospheric created conditions. I keep wondering whether or not our own global warming has anything to do with killing more people in the process left and right. So we are dealing with it, aren't we? We're dealing with a lot of things happening these days. Getting back to the woman that they kept showing on there, who's got an issue. Because things are not the same. You're right, things are not the same. Conditions change. Maybe get worse, maybe get better. Markets fluctuating left and right. And they were fluctuating like crazy. Markets do that. We tend to depend upon other people's wealth in order for us to get wealthy. Markets do that. Commodities do that. Supply and demand does that. People bitching or griping about the food prices. Well, they got to think about supply and demand. How much demand we got on the food, on the resources that we have, on the dwindling resources we have. We can riot like crazy that there's not enough, but the problem is we never accept responsibility for our own stupidity. And changes have to be done, and sometimes I'm not quite sure if we've got them in time or not. We had environmental groups for decades warning us about this stuff. Did we ever listen? Nope. We didn't. You had several countries out in the Central America to South America. And they had a conference this week or last week concerning about trying to save the rainforest, and nobody had a good answer. Nobody wanted to have a good answer. Nobody wanted to pick up the ball on this one and lead. Every other country has their own thing. They'll take care of the Amazon forest the way they think they should instead of everyone out for themselves. That kind of sucks, doesn't it? And I hear a video concerning about things are not the way they're supposed to be. Well, guess what, lady? Nobody does. Nobody gives a shit sometimes because they all demonstrate the damn thing in the first place. We're lucky enough we get recycling centers out here that recycle metal, plastic, glass. If we get them up and running, we may or may not turn a little profits immediately for those collectors. Get a few chump change going on. But the rest of it, closed down, shut off. We had recycling centers out here in the city of Roseman. Yeah, city? Shit. The community of Roseman, I gotta call it. The gaggle of it. We had recycling centers, but they're shut down, and now we had a mini won by a market that is trying to get its recycling going on. I mean, they had it here for years. But because of market situations happened, a damn bug came up and scared the hell out of people left and right and killed people left and right. Shut down businesses, changed business uh, models left and right, what they're supposed to be doing, what they're going to be doing, what they should have been doing, and they can't do anymore. And they go out of business. Shut down entirely. Sucked. But this one woman, I know I'm fixated on this one video that kept passing around, bouncing around from left and right. Oh yeah, let's talk about this one woman having a conniption fit over things, shall we? I mean, shit. Things are not the same. We can't have this or we can't have that. How come we can't have this? You know, you got people losing communities left and right, but we have to worry about our own damn selves half the time. And if we can't worry about our own damn selves, what are we worrying about? But that's not fair. I hate to tell you, but nothing's fair at this point. If everything was fair, if it was going to be 50-50, then everybody would be flipping a damn coin, either winning or losing, and we'd still get screwed one way or another. Life isn't fair. It's practically unfair. Life is life. Life is random. Sometimes it has patterns, and other times it doesn't. I had a philosophy professor trying to confuse the living crap out of me and what his viewpoints were, and I looked at him, and I'm trying to figure this confused poor beatnik of a professor. Comes in with sandals, Hawaiian shirt and short pants, and the California weather. And he's trying to confuse people with his logic. And I'm thinking to myself, why the hell are you here in the first place? You're trying to tell us what logic is supposed to be in the real world? Holy crap, where the hell have you been hiding at, academic? Because I come from the streets of real world. I worked for over 30 plus years. If I couldn't cut it in academia when I was a young kid, I'd get back. I'd have to throw myself into the lot. Yes, there is elitism. Yes, things do go downhill. Those who got the money, or those who earned it, or whatever the way they got it, they control. They're in charge, not me. I'm the worker. I'm the laborer. I'm the one observing from the bottom level of what things are going on. I see other people struggling like crazy. And yes, I don't know what it was like in this woman's time. I know, and I can talk about my time. We can do the fallacy things if things were simpler, and why couldn't they have the things like we have right now? Because we're using it up, we're consumers, and we're burning up our resources left and right. How's that grab you? The shops that we've had, the restaurants that we've gone to, the neighborhoods that we lived in changed a great deal. Populations increased, supply and demand increased more and more. Demand is higher than the supply at this point, but we're struggling trying to make a good living. No, you're just trying to struggle to make a living. There's nothing about good living. Good would be like someone else's idea of what they think good is, compared to someone else's living, which may be better or worse. Perspective, context. I've had those. I had to grow up with those. I had to learn how to use those the hard way. I didn't need a philosophy class to tell me what life was all about. I was learning it the hard way. Yes, some days and some places they may have better jobs because you may have the job skills necessary for that particular place, but you may not have the quote unquote academia backing you up in order to get it. So somebody else with more academia but less job skills gets the damn job as a supervisor and thinks he knows better because of academia, because he put in the hours necessary, or may or may not have, to get the lettered grade, put it on a resume, and that comes out saying, yes, I've got leadership experience. No, you got academia, book learning, but you don't have leadership. Leadership usually comes from the experienced guys down below who are telling you exactly what they're seeing. But it does help to have an academic perspective. And these guys are getting overlooked left and right, getting pissed off about it and leaving other jobs and trying to go for another job that they can. They complained about, this woman was complaining about how the wages are changed, how things have changed. And then when I looked at the progressive media, that was coming from. Some of these guys are laughing their heads off of the damn shit. It was coming across as such. To where that kind of logic, people couldn't figure out. And I love when they start comparing things left and right. What about this abortion clinic over here, that abortion clinic? Does it have anything relevant to the woman's complaints about how things are? Now you're bringing in this other shit? Good lord, you guys lose track of the topic. Alright, how things are different. Healthcare sucks. Insurance companies have tried to run the market for God knows how long. You pay into the market. You pay into the insurance company. They're theoretically supposed to be covering you. Except, of course, you've got shareholders who want more and more out of the damn thing. And if it's a for-profit company, guess what? You're going to be paying for them. And the thing is when you look at your insurance policies, you got to figure out exactly, and probably need a lawyer to understand it all. Sometimes they're confusing as hell, even insurance. I used to work for a medical insurance company for a short time. It didn't make me a policy reader. It just made me aware of people's medical insurance and how their claims are getting processed and paid. So in that in that instance, I could try talking about it. Why things feel like they're not the same anymore? They never were. Things change constantly. Pisses us off because we want a snapshot on a constant basis. Yeah, and whose perspective, whose time period, and we can't. It doesn't work that way. We want it that way. It doesn't work that way. Why not? I want it that way. I want it that way. It was so simple. Well, for a simple mind when you were back then and you were a young kid and you didn't have to worry about the damn shit your parents had to worry about. You didn't figure the shit out? You couldn't think about putting this one back? I mean, go way, 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 way back. The reason why I have studied history at times and trying to see the political game, but also remembering what things were. The further we go back in our memories, we are going back into a time where we didn't give a shit at that point. We were kids. What the hell do we know about the world? The world was too damn big during that time. We had to develop our parent. We had to rely on our parents back then, and they were struggling their asses off. But we don't want to realize this. We want a snapshot. We want to go back to some kind of time where we thought it was perfect. Doesn't work that way. You got to deal with what is. Because the mistakes we made back then are costing us right now as it is today, and it affects our kids down the road. So I keep telling people, but they don't want to listen to it, a damn thing. Whatever happens in the past does affect us today, which affects us tomorrow. Hello! Progression. Sometimes we hate it, and sometimes we have to deal with it. Then what are you going to do about it? Fuss and complain about everything else life has to offer. Try that one. I could tell stories about how things were back then as a child. The problem is I couldn't understand the adult perspective unless I was back there as an adult to understand the things my mother had to go through. And I don't have a father. I had a biological hit and run, so my mother had to deal with a lot of it on her own. She had some help, but not much. She struggled like everybody else did back then. look at the statistics and the economics and the political factors and historical factors out there. You look at the environmental. A lot of things to look at and understand. Boggles the mind unless you're looking at something specific. Unless you're going to try to point it to one particular item and say, see, this is the time that we needed to be in. Was it? People wanted to go back in the time where John F. Kennedy was ruling as a president. And we forgot the kind of times that we had back then. Please give me a break. People keep forgetting history left and right. We had a Cold War going on right there. We had countries with the fingers on the damn button, ready to blow ourselves up to kingdom come. We had the communist scare going like crazy, the Red Scare. We had politicians trying to terrify us left and right of what the hell we're supposed to be afraid of and who to blame for our damn crap. Did we ever pay attention? Nope. Well, we're dealing with the times. The times was we had to be afraid constantly. We had more to fear than we realized. But then again, I guess the people at the time really did. Because the thing that they understood is an atomic bomb can ruin a whole lifetime of a planet. We don't have that. No, we got, let's see, we got biological contaminants that can do that for us. We can make our own damn chemicals trying to kill us left and right. Oh yeah, we also have terrorists out there trying to blow places and buildings up and fly airplanes into buildings and cause a ripple effect that still continues to this day. We have our own hatred and racial tendencies popping up every so often to scare the living crap out of people. They say, hey, look at me, I'm the boogeyman. Blame the other guy for this damn stuff. Boo, 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 boo. So now we get to hate everybody else at the same damn time. See, we have never been united. If we had been united, we would have been united in our own anger and our own hatred. We blame the other guy for our own misery at this point. But we can't find a way out of our misery, so we have to blame the other guy because sometimes there's flying bug. Because there's nothing to get past it. We had been careless and thoughtless with our own environmental stuff. That we screwed up our environment, screwed up the food chain, screwing ourselves up the same damn time. How's that simplified for you? Our gas is increasing. Temperatures increasing. Water temperatures increasing. Guess what? We're killing our life support. Congratulations. We're killing off our air. Aren't we going to suffocate? We're choking ourselves out because we got atmospheric conditions getting worse and worse. And we complain about politics about someone else's damn laptop. We complain about how the world is changing and we can't deal with it because we can't give the things we wanted to give them or we had. We tell them our lessons that we've learned a long time ago. And we hope that maybe they would understand, but they don't. Because they don't have the perspective, or maybe if they do, they have their own perspective and their own viewpoints of how they're seeing things right now as it is. How long have we had examples of how Wall Street is affecting everything and anything? The ebb and flow, the markets affecting our supply and demand. Money is more important than our supply of anything. Attitude is more important than what we've got right now as it is. We have part of a state devastated. Conditions changed almost irrevocably because of what we've done to our planet one way or another. Some people probably would call it maybe religious persecution or prosecution or maybe justification for all the damage, and now we got to go crazy over this damn thing. I'm waiting for that I'm waiting for that crap to pop up over here and listen to people bellyache about that one. They'll probably say it's God's fault. God did this to the people because he's punishing them for this and that. Oh, I'm waiting for the conservatives to go for ape on this one here. I'm waiting for that one. See, it's easy enough to blame people. It's easy enough to blame and put the finger on people left and right. Things are happening because there are consequences of actions either taken long ago or shortly. I think long ago that have been accumulating, and we're just now getting the effects of it royally. And now we have a hard time trying to put this genie back in the bottle because the bottle's already been smashed, ground up into dust, and blown in the wind. Now we got to deal with it. So now we got to help rebuild a paradise if we can, a little island out in the Pacific Ocean. Meanwhile, the waters are cooking everybody left and right, boiling them alive like lobsters that they are. No wonder the fishing industry had changed so much drastically over the decades because they saw and they felt the conditions in their water and they moved off. I was wondering how come Alaskan fishing got so screwed up out there in the Bering Strait. How come their fishing pots are empty? Damn creatures are smart enough to find a different place in the waters that they're lucky enough to survive in, that are off limits or out of their reach, trying to find a way to survive. So now fish prices are going to go skyrocketing at this point. Your favorite can of tuna, if it hadn't been processed, it's going to go skyrocketing. So is your favorite fish sticks. How about the tails of the lobsters and other creatures? Or the fish that we try to pull up. Even those crustacean things with the pinchers on them. Ugh. Prices of them are going to go up because there's scarcity. But we need more land to feed ourselves left and right. So therefore, we're putting more gas out there. Instead of having carbon scrubbers out there made of natural plant life, we're taking them down and giving our atmosphere more and more conditions to breathe. Or shall I say, choke in. But hey, don't blame me for this damn shit. I'm just the one observing everything else going hell in a handbasket. I see my own energy prices going up more and more because of my own poor choices. And now I have to keep paying half and half and half and never catching up at this point. And if I do catch up, that's going to be a problem right there. Consequences all around. We don't want to see it. We don't want to acknowledge it. But we want to play political head games and blame people for everything. Let's face it, boys and girls, we screwed ourselves left and right on this damn planet. We can't get ourselves out of it. So what's your major malfunction this time today?